Welcome to the Wind Up with Will, everyone. I'm your host, Will, here with another episode. And today I'm going to be talking about the MLB trade deadline, what that holds for the rest of the season, as well as briefly giving a recap of the All Star game because I've not talked about that, and I should have much sooner. So I apologize. Um, so I want to go in to talking about baseball day. It's the season's winding down. We got to get some comments and just talk about the season so far. Um, so first, I'm going to recap the All Star game that took place back on July 14th. That was a while ago, but I've not talked about it since my prediction video where I said I thought the NL would win, having home field advantage. They did not. The American League won 4-0. Dylan Cease struck out the side in the first inning. He combined with 10 relievers on a three-hitter. It was just absolute pitching dominance by the American League, winning 4-0 over the National League. It's their 18th win in the last 23 games of the All Star. The AL has won 18 of the last 23 All Star games. They've just absolutely dominated over the last 2 decades. Cody Bellinger hit a two-run single, and Ben Rice followed an RBI single on the first against Christopher Sanchez of the host Phillies. Miguel Vargas, the Chicago White Sox, had an eighth-inning home run off Los Angeles Dodgers Justin Robleski. He's pitching on his 26th birthday. The NL only got 3 hits in this game. Juan Soto in the fourth, Pete Crow Armstrong in the eighth, and Otto Lopez in the ninth. They were the only hits by the NL. They failed to advance a runner past first base. It's the first shutout since 2013 in the All Star game. I don't know how many shutouts there have been, but it's the first one since 2013. Pitchers combined for 27 strikeouts. 15 of them were by AL pitchers, the American League pitchers. So this was an unfortunate game for the National League, and unfortunately, that's to an extent what the All Star game has become in a way of just a lot of pitching and not a ton of offense in it. That's maybe something we can talk about in a future video. I definitely want to talk about the All Star game more in a future video, but we have some other things to talk about today, and I have to get another video out at some point today about college football season starting. So I can't go on talking forever about the All Star game. What we're also going to talk about is the MLB trade deadline, which was August. It's the beginning of August. Was it August 3rd? On Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And there was a lot of changes that happened. There's one of them that we might be talking a little bit more about in this video than anything else. And so I pulled up an MLB article of the top 25 trades of the trade deadline. I might not go over all of them. I'm at least going to touch on the Mets. As you can tell, I'm a Mets fan. Also very patriotic. It's America 250. So got to celebrate with a patriotic hat. But I want to go into each of or at least some of these top 25 trades, some of the bigger trades of the MLB trade deadline, what that means for the rest of the season, and what perhaps that means for the off season as well. So the number one trade, if you haven't heard about this, you're maybe living under a rock or you're not a baseball fan. Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers. The Detroit Tigers traded into the Los Angeles Dodgers for outfielder Zahir Hope, right-handed pitcher River Ryan, and right-handed pitcher Brady Smith. And so that's not a lot. I feel like they didn't get a lot. I mean, some people are touting this that they got good prospects back as this, and I'm sure they probably are good prospects. But it feels like the Tigers could have got a whole lot more for Tarek Skubal, especially if they moved him earlier. But the biggest thing here is that he went to the Dodgers. One, that other teams didn't try and jump in and get Skubal, or the fact that the Dodgers just seem to get him. It's the Dodgers get all the good players. They signed Kyle Tucker in the offseason. They traded for Tarek Skubal, one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball. It just seems like the Dodgers have assembled the Avengers and the Justice League combined, and they're just unstoppable. That's what it seems like. Now, after making this trade, they've had kind of a tailspin where they've not done as well. They went on like an 8-game losing streak at one point. So maybe they aren't invincible like me and a lot of other people thought. But it is still just kind of indicative, maybe, of the state of baseball at the moment, where it feels like the Dodgers are the team that wants to try and spend all the money. It's like they have no limitations, and a lot of the other teams don't want to try. So it's a lose lose situation because I hear all this discourse on the internet. We're going to briefly go into this, and so I can go into talking about the other trades. A lot of the discourse on the internet is, well, at least the Dodgers are trying to win. Yeah, I can see that point. And they, well, all these other owners, they're not trying to win. Yeah, I can see that point too. I think, and this is just me, I think both of them are bad. I think both of them are bad. I don't think it's bad that the Dodgers are trying to win. I think it's bad that they basically have no limitations. They can spend however much money they want. They can go get all of the best players. They can trade for the best players. And on top of it, they're really good at developing players as well in their own farm system. So they are the gold standard right now in baseball. They develop good talent that they bring up. Like a lot of their bench players would be starters on a ton of other teams. They're a really, really good team. They have assembled arguably the best baseball team on paper, at least on paper, arguably the best baseball team ever. And we'll see if they three-peat. They've won back-to-back World Series, the last 2 seasons. So we'll see if they three-peat and become just the third franchise ever to have a three-peat. But it feels like they don't have any limitations, and at the same time, a lot of other owners don't have the money, or they do, but they just don't choose to spend it. And then you have my team, the Mets, which do spend a ton of money and fail. And then you have a team like the Rays and a team like the Brewers who don't spend a ton of money but find ways to be successful. So it's just kind of a weird thing where there's arguments on both sides that can be heard. But I will say, I don't think it's good in several ways for Tarek Skubal going to the Dodgers. I don't think it's good in the sense that the Dodgers have all the best players, because it makes it harder to watch knowing that your team might not get to keep its star player, or they're not going to try to keep their star player. It also sucks that the Dodgers get all these good players, and it doesn't feel like other teams are able to get these kind of players. As well as there's the impending lockout that's possibly going to happen this offseason that's been rumored for a while now of, well, the owners want a salary cap, so if the Dodgers just keep buying everyone, they're going to bang their fists on the table and say we need a salary cap, and the players aren't going to sign off on that, and we're going to have a lockout. And we might not have any baseball next season. So there's a lot going on here with the Tarek Skubal trade. It's kind of a microcosm of a lot of other issues in the sport and a lot of other strong opinions in the sport. I think there needs to be something to just prevent um, the Dodgers from getting everyone. I don't know if it should be a solid salary cap, but obviously there can be things done to increase spending for smaller market teams, or for teams that just choose not to spend money, like a salary floor. That's a thing that people have thrown around. I think we need a tougher salary tax threshold or salary cap, as well as a high salary floor, something like the NFL has. They also have far more equal revenue sharing. But we need you just can't have all the best players going to the Dodgers. Here in a few years, when Paul Skeens isn't on the Pirates, whether it's the Yankees or the Dodgers or even my Mets, which I would love to have him, I don't think that's good for the sport of baseball. You need star players on a bunch of different teams. The sport right now, outside of the Dodgers just acquiring everyone, is in a great place. It's in one of the greatest eras it's ever been in, with the attendance and the TV ratings. Baseball is doing really good. All these people that wanted to say, well, baseball is a dying sport, it's not. Um, the the audiences at games, the paying attendance at games, the ratings on television, the game is in a great place. The World Baseball Classic has helped drive that as well. The Olympics in a few years, when major league players are going to go play in that's going to help as well. But the Tarek Skubal thing it's just kind of an overarching issue, or it really is reflective of the overarching issue of the Dodgers just acquiring everyone. Or in theory, it could be the Mets, but we've squandered that the last few years, or the Yankees or the Red Sox. The Dodgers are just the one that are choosing to act on it, but there should be limitations that prevent them from just acquiring everyone. There should be other owners attempting to spend money, and there should be a salary floor. There should be things in place that make it likely for your team to keep a player like Tarek Skubal or Paul Skeens. I'll get off my soapbox now, but it's just there's been a lot of discourse since the Tarek Skubal trade, and it's just crazy that he ends up on the Dodgers. That makes them really get great if they can get kind of out of their funk and back in rhythm. They're looking like they maybe could be a team to three-peat. They definitely have the talent for it. One of the other big trades, and according to MLB.com, they have this as their second biggest trade, is Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox. It's kind of weird that it was an in-division trade. The Red Sox got Adley Rutschman and catcher Jake Rogers, as well as cash. The Orioles got right-handed pitcher Anthony Ianson, right-handed pitcher Kyson Weatherspoon, outfielder Indy Azakar, and catcher Carlos Narvaez. You also had Luis Arraez traded to the Phillies from the Giants. They got him and Caleb Killian from the Giants. The Giants get pitcher Ramon Marquez and pitcher Marty Gear. I don't know how you say that. Luis Arraez. It's interesting that Adley Rutschman was a trade in division to the Red Sox, but he's a good player, great acquisition for the Red Sox, who've been playing a lot better here down the stretch. And Luis Arraez going to the Phillies, that's a great addition for them. I've heard it's caused some issues with Harper moving him to the outfield rather than at first base. But this does help their offense. This gives them a guy that is going to hit 300, a guy that's likely to win the batting title this year. His fourth batting title, I think, on his fourth different team. I guess you could really count the Giants this year as well. So really four batting titles over the course of 5 teams. It's just crazy, and I think it's also crazy that no one values this guy. They value him enough. Well, we're going to go get him because he's going to help our offense, but no one wants to give this guy a long-term deal. All this guy does is hit and win batting titles, and everyone's like, he's not that valuable because he doesn't hit home runs. He's a phenomenal hitter. If he can bat well over 300 every year, why would you not want the guy on your team? I hope the Mets go after him this offseason. I would much rather have him than Jorge Polanco. But again, I'm getting on the soapbox again. But Luis Arraez is a phenomenal hitter. Great acquisition there by the Phillies. Really going to help them make a push into the postseason. And they've went on a win streak and got within, I think, 3 games of the Braves in the standings. So they're right in the thick of it in the NL East. So they have a chance to get to win the division. Casey Mize went to the Padres from the Tigers. Tigers just kind of sold some of their pitching. And they got in return a left-handed pitchers Cash Mayfield and Jackson Wolf. They also traded away Gage Workman in that trade. Robbie Ray went to the Padres. They got him from the Giants, another in-division trade. And the Giants got pitchers Miguel Mendez and shortstop Janel, I think that's how you say it, Janel Hernandez. Kevin Gausman went to the Cubs from the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays got outfielder Brett Bateman and infielder Ty Suthson. I think that's how you say it. Luis Garcia Jr. went to the Yankees from the Nationals. That's a good acquisition. He's a good hitter. That gets them a first baseman. The Nationals get in return. They get several players. They get right-handed pitcher Giovanni Cruz, right-handed pitcher Jake Bird, right-handed pitcher Jack Siebert, and right-handed pitcher Ben Grabel. Grabel. This one hurt me. The Mets trading away Clay Holmes to the Cubs and outfielder Tyrone Taylor. I love both of those guys. Going to miss them. They go to the Cubs. The Mets, in turn, got infielder Jefferson Rojas, who is a prospect. He's the number 63 overall prospect, number 2 in the Cubs organization. Liam Hicks went to the Rays, first baseman and a catcher. And the Marlins, who he left, they got infielder Braden Taylor, shortstop Adrian Santana, and right-handed pitcher Jake Kisting. Kind of a unique rivalry trade there. Rays and Marlins, a little bit of a rivalry in Florida. The 10th trade on their list, Jose Soriano went to the Blue Jays from the Angels, and the Angels in return got infielder Arjun Namala, outfielder Eddie Micheletti, and right-handed pitcher Angel Rivero. Freddie Peralta, the Mets traded Freddie Peralta. They traded him August 2nd, even though it feels like it was much earlier than that. He had a disappointing year for the Mets, but he definitely has the talent to be a better pitcher, and he's not done well since going to the Rays. Um, I was kind of glad we offloaded him because I don't think we were going to re-sign him. And in return, we get outfielder Aiden Smith, right-handed pitcher Gary Gilhill, and second baseman Emeline Petrie. And where those prospects are ranked is similar or below the prospects we gave up to get Freddie Peralta in the offseason. So it just seems kind of like a wash. Like the Mets didn't really gain anything from the offseason by acquiring Freddie Peralta. But time will tell. You never know. Time will tell. Maybe those prospects will turn out to be great players. So you never know. Number 12 is Foster Griffin to the Guardians. He's a left-handed pitcher. The Nationals in return get pitchers Josh Hartle, Will Dion, Kindigles Verges, and outfielder Nick Mitchell. Julio Ramos went to the Yankees from the Giants. He's an outfielder. It's a good acquisition by them. He's a good hitter. Um, He has only 9 home runs, but he's crossed the 20 homer plateau in each of his past 2 years. I think that's a good acquisition by the Yankees, especially with Aaron Judge being hurt, with Giancarlo Stanton being hurt. They need more bats. They need more outfielders. And in return, the Giants got left-handed pitcher Henry Lalane and shortstop Caden Kent. Lars Nootbaar got traded from the Cardinals to the Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals in return got pitchers Daniel Egan, Sandro Santana, and a player to be named later. The Orioles traded Taylor Ward to the Mariners, and in return they got pitchers Alex Hopp, Harrison Creeling, and Brock Moore. Dalton Varsho got traded from the Blue Jays to the Astros. He's an outfielder. And the Blue Jays in return got right-handed pitcher Spencer Arrighetti. Then Joe Adele got traded from the Angels to the Guardians. He's an outfielder. The AL Central, all the teams right there are playing like at 500. So if you can just go on a win streak at the end of the season, you can maybe get in. So the Guardians need all the help they can get. The White Sox are a little over 500. They look like they're the team to surprisingly win this division. But who knows? If you can get on a hot streak, you can win that division. And in return for Joe Adele, the Guardians gave up catcher Jacob Cozart to the Angels. The White Sox got right-handed pitcher Luis Castillo from the Mariners, and in return they gave up pitchers Sir Anthony Dominguez, outfielder Nolan Jones, and catcher Boston Smith. That's a good pickup by them. His ERA is a little high this season, but he's a solid veteran starting pitcher. He's had really great years before. If he can lower his ERA and get kind of in a rhythm, he could be a great pitcher for them, especially come postseason time if they can make the postseason. Luke Weaver, the Mets gave up Luke Weaver to the Pirates in return for shortstop Sammy Staffera. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Luke Weaver, he had a phenomenal season this year as a setup man, and I don't think he wasn't our closer. He was a setup guy, but he had an ERA under 2 at 1.84 and a .82 WHIP through 44 innings with the Mets this season. He did phenomenal, and he had a scoreless streak going at one point that I think reached over 24 innings at one point. He's had a phenomenal season. Great acquisition by the Pirates there. I hate that we gave him up, but he was a free agent. We're not likely to get him back. Maybe we can sign him in the offseason, but he's never going to be more valuable than he was this season. Dusty May and JoJo Romero went to the Brewers from the Cardinals. I'm sorry, not Dusty. Dustin May and JoJo Romero went to the Brewers. The Cardinals get outfielder Alexander Frias and outfielder Carson Ragsdale. Ryan Zephyron went to the Cubs. He's a pitcher from the Angels, and the Angels in return got DH/catcher Moses Ballesteros and right-handed pitcher Mason McGuire. The Blue Jays traded Jeff Hoffman away as well, and in return they got pitchers Desan Hill, John Klein, infielder Damery Pena, and an international bonus pool money. The Red Sox got left-handed pitcher Eric Miller and outfielder Carlos Gutierrez, I believe is how you pronounce it, from the Giants, and in return they gave up infielder Marcelo Meyer, went to the Giants. Chris Bubic, I think it's Chris Bubic, got traded to the Dodgers from the Royals, and in return they got pitcher Carlos Duran. And then Nathaniel Lowe went to the Guardians from the Reds, and in return they gave up pitcher Alejandro Rivera. So these were just the bigger trades. There's a lot more trades that happened, but these were the top 25 ranked trades. As I said again, the Tarek Skubal one's obviously the biggest one here, but you also have the Adley Rutschman trade was kind of big. Luis Arraez is a star hitter and has won a bunch of batting titles. To me, it's kind of amazing he's still moving around from team to team and no one's signed him to a long-term deal. I would love to have him on the Mets. But those are just the bigger trades that have happened at or before the deadline. That was August 3rd. So I know, again, that has been a while. It's August 27th now. I've not done a video in a while, so I apologize for that. But those were the trades. I just wanted to get that out of the way, and hopefully I can get a video out soon talking about the rest of the MLB season, my thoughts on the Hall of Fame, as well as the All-Star Game and what can be done to maybe change some aspects of the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. But I'm also going to work on getting out a college football video and an NFL video in the coming week. Since those are starting up, I'm going to hope to get the college football video out either by tonight or sometime tomorrow, since we have week 0 starting this weekend. So I want to get some videos out. Sorry I've been away a lot. I apologize for that. I'm going to hope to get more videos out soon. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.